Okay, so we've been looking at nth terms and we're going to work out the nth term for this sequence. Okay, so the first thing we do is we work out the difference between them. Oh, it's not the same difference each time. That is what makes it a quadratic sequence. Okay, quadratic sequences are tricky. They're really hard to learn if you're just learning it from diagrams. But as with anything, if you take it step by step and you work through them slowly but methodically and practice, they will become easier. Okay, so the next thing we need to do when you see that the numbers are different each time is work out a second difference. So 6 and 8 is plus 2, 8 and 10 is plus 2, and 10 and 12 is plus 2. Now we can work out an nth term. Now you'll notice we've had to work out two differences, so our n is squared. The second step that you must remember to do is to divide the second difference in half. So you divide it by 2 each time. That makes 1. So 1n squared is the first half of our nth term. Now we know in algebra if you've only got one letter, you only write the letter on its own. So it stays as n2. The next step that you need to do is write out n2. So something squared. So we'll start from our anything squared. So we'll just do the squared sequence. So that's 1, 4, 9, 16, 25. The next step you need to do is write out the original sequence above it. So 3, 9, 17, 27, 39. And then you take the bottom from the top. Draw a line under these so you've got your answers underneath. So 3 to 1 gives us 2, gives us 5, 8, 11, 14. Now we can't have that as a difference because they're all different again, so we're going to have to work out the difference between these. Plus 3, plus 3, plus 3, plus 3. So our whole nth term for this sequence is n squared plus 3. Okay, let's try another one. Okay, here's our second sequence. So we know these are going to be different each time, so it's plus 3 here, plus 5, plus 7, plus 9. So we're going to work out our second difference. So 3 to 5 is plus 2, plus 2 is plus 2. Okay, so we know the first part of our nth term is going to be n squared, because if you divide that by 2 equals 1, only 1n. So again, we're going to write down our squared numbers: 1, 4, 9, 16, 25. And above it, the original sequence: 11, 14, 19, 26, and 35. Draw a line underneath, take away the bottom from the top. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. These are all the same, so there's no need to work out a second sequence underneath it. And it's a positive 10 each time, so our nth term for this sequence will be n squared plus 10. Okay, let's try one more. Okay, final one. So work out the difference: plus 6, plus 10, plus 14, plus 18. Difference between them this time is plus 4, plus 4, plus 4. Divide that difference in half by 2, and that gives us 2. So the first part of our nth term is 2n squared. So this time, when we write down our squared numbers, we've got to multiply them by 2. So that is going to be 1 times 2 is 2, 4 times 2 is 8, 9 times 2 is 18, 16 times 2 is 32, and 25 times 2 is 50. Then we write our original sequence along the top. Just happens to be the same. Take one away from the other. There's no difference between these answers, so our nth term is 2n squared plus 0. Now we know that the whole point of algebra is to write as little amount as possible, so there's no need to write the plus